The Hong Kong Monetary Authority announced a raft of measures to support small and medium-sized companies in the city. They encompass liquidity and capital-related measures. Chief Executive Johnny in his policy address said the city's economy is undergoing a transition. This means people must adapt to change and the government will support such efforts. Today, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority unveiled its latest measures to help small and medium-sized enterprises cope with the changes in business environment. That comes after the pre-approved principal repayment moratorium scheme, which allowed SME borrowers to return just the interest first, has been phased out since July last year. The partial principal repayment arrangement for some enterprises is also set to expire early next year. To ease the company's cash flow troubles, the HKMA said banks have pledged to extend the partial principal repayment ratios and durations, with the principal repayment moratorium scheme extended for some borrowers. Apart from SMEs, the scheme also covers individual loans for taxis, minibuses, and other commercial vehicles. The HKMA has also cut the counter-cyclical capital buffer ratio from the current 1% to 0.5%. That is expected to release $300 billion to $400 billion in liquidity, with banks allowed to extend more loans to SMEs.
We do think that banks can manage the credit risk involved without any sort of excessive burden on banks' financials.
The definition of an SME is also broadened from companies with $100 million to $500 million in annual sales. The risk rate of large loans is also lowered. That means the capital requirements for enterprises can be lowered so they can borrow loans with a lower interest rate. The measure takes effect immediately, earlier than the original date on New Year's Day next year. 16 banks have earmarked upwards of $370 billion of funds to facilitate the SME's financing, with a rollout of more credit products to assist in the company's digital and green transformation.
It aims to give the kind of certainty to the SME sector that there are dedicated funds available.
Concerning the dedicated task force set up on SME financing in August by the HKMA, more than 100 referrals have already been received. HKMA said 20% of the cases are harder to resolve because of their difficult business conditions. For some others, concrete assistance has been offered, including coordination work with banks.